Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, June 14th, 2013. It's Flag Day in the United States. The American government has determined now that the Syrian regime has in fact used chemical weapons against the rebels. And the American military is considering the implementation now of a no-fly zone over Syria. The Russians are disagreeing vehemently with the Americans' conclusion about the use of chemical weapons. The G8 meeting is next week in Northern Ireland. I'm sure this will be a topic of discussion between President Putin and President Obama. Yesterday morning in Buenos Aires, Argentina, a speeding commuter train slammed into a stopped commuter train. This was on a line that was controlled by the Argentinian government as a result of a very fatal train crash last year. Yesterday's crash ended up killing 4 people and injuring 300. The satellite images have shown that the train had braked normally at a previous station, then rolled past 4 red lights. In fact, it increased speed continually when it left the previous station, picking up speed to the point where it was about at 40 miles per hour when it slammed into the stopped train. The conductors on both trains were ordered detained by the government for investigation on charges of wreaking havoc followed by death. They had passed breathalyzer tests. It obviously snarled considerably in the rush hour in Argentina and Buenos Aires yesterday morning. Also yesterday there was a explosion at a chemical plant owned by the Tulsa, Oklahoma-based Williams companies. The plant was in an area south of Geismar in Louisiana on the Mississippi River, about 30 miles southeast of Baton Rouge. The explosion killed 1 person, injured 77 others, caused the evacuation of about 300 people. The plant made ethylene and propylene, highly flammable gases, essential building blocks in the petrochemical industry. Well, if you thought American International Group was too big to fail, how big to fail do you think Berkshire Hathaway would be? Quite a lot bigger. Berkshire Hathaway has been ordered by the Securities and Exchange Commission and has now agreed to provide more data about claims costs at its insurance units. The chief financial officer of the company said that we have agreed to provide disclosures in future filings of the significant cat losses for our insurance group as a whole and for each of our underwriting units. Superstorm Sandy, which struck the U.S. at the end of October, cost Berkshire about $1.1 billion, including losses of about $500 million at Geico. The SEC has also pressed Berkshire in the past for information on its derivative holdings and the write-downs it takes on stock and bond investments. It's interesting that it could be this that enforces more transparency there. Berkshire Hathaway also confirmed the launch of its new specialty insurance unit. Warren Buffett warned competitors that the company is targeting substantial long-term growth in the sector. He said, "It's official. We are, quote, moving into commercial insurance in a substantial way, and we are here to stay." With Berkshire's proven underwriting discipline and financial strength, it's expected that the specialty insurance market, which is going to be based in Boston, which is aiming at a specific corner of the American domestic market, namely excess and surplus lines product, is going to quickly become a very big player. U.S. commercial lines insurers' reserves are deficient despite continued premium rate increases. This is according to Aon Benfield. According to Aon Benfield, now the overall position of American property and casualty insurers has become deficient. This is with the exception of property lines. Property lines has increased its reserves. Everything else, presumably liability mainly, has taken a hit. According to Aon Benfield, commercial lines reserves, which were redundant at year-end 2011, have now swung to a deficient position of almost $900 million at the end of 2012. Last evening at about 9:45 during the NBA Finals game, an outdoor deck at a popular Miami area sports bar partially collapsed into the water, sending about 50 people into the drink, with their drinks. The deck that collapsed was the Shuckers Bar and Grill in North Bay Village, just north of Miami Beach. No one was killed. Pandemonium broke out for a while, but it was on the news shows this morning, but fortunately it was not a fatal event. Yesterday in Toulon, actually it was earlier today in Toulon, The Airbus A350 took its first test flight. It was a 4-hour test flight. Touchdown to cheers from Airbus employees and hundreds of aviation enthusiasts. It's a twin-engine plane. It's slated to go up head-to-head against the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. The project has been developed at a cost of about $15 billion. The flight was manned by 2 British and 2 French former fighter pilots at the controls. There were also a number of other people on board the plane, a crew of 6 in total. They were wearing parachutes and orange jumpsuits, as well as bringing several tons of test equipment. I'm not exactly sure what a parachute would do at an altitude of 30-some thousand feet, but I suppose it would make you feel more comfortable. The Paris Air Show begins in 3 days, and the plane will be ready for that, so good luck to Airbus. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Have a pleasant weekend, and we will see you on Monday.